Hey everybody, Jayborino here, welcome back, continuing StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is the penultimate mission of the main campaign, the Host.
Now that the Psi Matrix has fallen, Amon cannot warp the Golden Armada back to Ire to defend himself. We must destroy his host body before it fully awakens. For the sake of our people, we cannot falter.
Achievements for this map: destroy a Void Shard with the assistance of your allied Protoss forces, destroy 2 Void Shards within 150 seconds of each other. We can discuss how to do that as we choose our Army and Solar Corps assignments. Okay, I'm going to go with Whirlwind Zealots here. Not going to be making too many of these, but they're helpful at the beginning because of the AoE damage that they do. For our ranged warriors, I'm going to be going with Stalkers. We do want anti-armor damage for the Void Shards. Dark Templar for Cloaked Warriors is fine. I'm going to switch to Havocs to increase range on our ranged units. We're going to be sticking with Vanguards here for the amount of damage that they output. They will benefit from the Havocs. Starfighters doesn't really matter because we're not really going to be making these. I'm going to change our Sonic Warriors to High Templar. We're going to dump extra gas that we accrue at the beginning of the map into High Templars for Archons. I will also stick with Arbiters. We can use these to get the second achievement of destroying 2 of the Void Shards within 150 seconds of each other. Wrathwalkers, because they do insane damage versus structures, and we haven't used them yet. And then for our capital ships, let's try the Tempests. With Wrathwalkers and Tempests together, we can focus down the Void Shards. Solar Core assignments, very important. In particular, we want to be looking to use Time Stop, because pushing into the Void Shards is extremely challenging, and the units that are defending them endlessly respawn, plus the Void Shards do a ton of AoE damage around them, so we use Time Stop to push into them. We'll continue with Reconstruction Beam because I did not choose the carriers that repair things, so Reconstruction Beam fills that role. Mass Recall allows us to get back to our base quickly. Chrono Surge for upgrades as usual. Solar Lance because it's Solar Lance. I'm going to go with Orbital Assimilator, and that's not because we need consistent gas per se, it's so that we don't have to spend supply on extra probes, because we want the largest army possible, and then we'll dump our extra points here into our auxiliary systems.
Have not eluded my gaze, Artanis. Your plans are not hidden from me. And you are too late. Behold, the form of your god. The culmination of a cycle set into motion when the stars were born. As I was your beginning, so shall I be your end. Know the truth, Artanis. Your people, your beliefs, your color, everything. A lie. There is nothing left of you.
You are wrong. We are finally free to become something more, and you will not stop us! Brace yourself for the full might of the Firstborn!
You tell him. The Mastery achievement for this one I don't plan on going for. It's to beat the map in 24 minutes, to go super fast. Using Time Stop and Arbiters is the way to do it, but I'm not going to be focusing on getting it, because I'd rather be a little more meticulous and just obliterate this map.
So this is Amon's host body, an abomination made from the flesh of our brethren and the Overmind's carcass.
Indeed, Hierarch. My sensors indicate his form is consuming void energies at an alarming rate. In this state, even our most powerful weaponry will have no effect upon Amon.
These shards, they generate void energy. Drain life around them to feed his host body. They must be destroyed.
The land near them has been destabilized. It's almost as if he's terraforming the area, turning it into the void. Wait. The shards are opening rifts, summoning entities to defend them.
Then we are running out of time. Warriors, ready your blades. We fight for the future of Ire.
Those rifts endlessly spawn units, and the only way to close them is to destroy the corresponding Void Shards.
The Void Shards must be destroyed if we hope to strike at Amon's host form. Fight well, Templar.
Okay, we're gonna get individual stalkers off of our one warp gate and endless probes at the beginning. Pretty typical start.
The void reflects my will, and I will your destruction.
Amon is continually opening rifts to protect the shards. We will need to attack before the defenders become overwhelming.
Good job, Whirlwind Zealots. That's your job. Defending us early. I don't plan on making many Zealots later on. A lot of people prefer Sentinels because of their survivability, but you can have so many more supply-efficient units later on where I don't want to waste 2 supply on a Sentinel or a Whirlwind Zealot when I can have something better that works better with a late-game composition. So, again, they're doing exactly what they need to do here at the beginning, and we won't be making many of them later. So my goal here, especially for the first shard, is we're going to make Vanguards and Wrathwalkers, so a Tal'Darim-focused robo-army, to focus down the shards in conjunction with Time Stop. We're going to use Solar Lance defensively, and once we destroy the shard, we're going to mass recall out of there, because it's quite hard to stay alive after you destroy the shard, because there's still going to be a ton of units that are going to be hanging out around there. So let's not get supply blocked later. And I'll probably use Chrono Search to get out some early upgrades as well as some of those early robo units. So we're going to get 1 or 2 Vanguards and 1 or 2 Wrathwalkers. And then in conjunction with the Time Stop and then all these Stalkers that I'm trying to build right now, if we can get enough out, we can destroy that first Void Shard relatively early because there's an expansion down here with 3 geysers, which is we obviously want. And once we have enough gas, then, you know, we're cooking with gas. And we can make some Archons, and then we'll be able to transition into Tempests, as well as a couple Arbiters to help us with that second achievement, because we can recall on top of 2 shards at the same time in order to get that destroy 2 shards within 2.5 minutes, I think, of each other. Okay, so we got some energy now. So once this forge is done, we're going to go ahead and chrono out some stuff. Look out, friend. We don't want to be losing stalkers to these early attacks. I'm going to chrono surge my forge. Keep making probes. And then I'm just going to spam the G button. There we go, in order to grab, or at least start +2 to fully maximize Chrono Surge. We're going to keep making Stalkers, and now our Robo Facility is out. And as soon as that's done, we're going to get the support base so we can get Wrathwalkers. Wrathwalkers do like 175 damage versus structures, which is why I'm focusing on those early. So as long as you time stop and you've got a couple of Void Wrathwalkers, then you can very effectively destroy the shards. So let's get a couple pylons so that when we want to build these units, we don't get supply blocked doing so.
I will break the cycle of the Xel'Naga.
Artanis, I am detecting a large number of void entities inbound on our nexus point. Get ready to defend.
Okay, so all of these have little rifts that send typical attacks at you, but then there's larger ones that spawn from the very back of the map, but they're telegraphed by Karax and on the mini-map. So we'll just use Solar Lance to stop that. And we don't want to get supply blocked coming up here when we want to build more Wrathwalkers and Vanguards. So now I'm just going to sit and wait for gas. And as soon as we have enough gas to make another Vanguard and 2 Wrathwalkers when the Robo Bay is done, then we're going to go out for this. We're going to go for this shard. And currently time stop is off cooldown. We don't want this to be off cooldown because it's wasting its future cooldown time. So as soon as we can, we want to be moving out. Let's just go ahead and, Solar Lance this. It's also helpful to Solar Lance on top of the shard as you're attacking it, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to queue up 2 Wrathwalkers and Chrono Surge them. And then we should have just enough, for another Vanguard as well. And we should have enough supply for it. And as soon as these are all out, and this should maximize the utility of Chrono Surge pretty effectively as well. Almost perfect, actually. Okay, and we can grab another Zealot. Fine. We're going to move out. We're just going to right-click this shard. And as we move in here, and now we're going to time stop. Okay, get out of the way. We want the Wrathwalker hitting this, please. Everybody clump up, because we're going to mass recall out of here as soon as this is destroyed. Okay, we're out, and now we're going to sit in our base and defend ourselves.
We have done it. Warriors, press forward.
And we're going to grab some additional gateways, pylons. So there's still a ton of units that are sitting down here we're going to have to go and kill later. So we want to get some either Dark Templar or Zealots to clean that up, and in the meantime we'll sit in our base and defend against incoming attacks while we wait. And again, if we could take these 3 geysers, we're in great shape, and we have to set up a bunch of defense here when the time is right. And with additional income, I can queue up some air upgrades, because I'm going to be making air units later. Okay, and a Havoc would be really nice as well, so we can change our, Not my cannon, no! Go ahead and change my chrono boost. Okay, open these up. And we're mostly gonna get Wrathwalkers here, and with our extra minerals here at the beginning, I'll just go ahead and throw down some extra Zealots. Because again, I want to clear this out so I can take this base. This rift is actually already gone, we just can't see it because it's in the fog. Let's just make sure that our stalkers aren't dying to these immortals.
Artanis, there are several locations surrounding Amon's Form that would serve as excellent forward outposts. Clear out the enemy, and our forces will provide you with additional support.
Okay, I'm going to get a Havoc now as well. That'll benefit our Wrathwalkers as we attack into the shards. And I will likely use Chrono Surge to get this saturated as well, because we need a lot of resources in order to build a bunch of defense against incoming attacks from both of these areas. I'm going to rely pretty heavily on Solar Lance to defend this, along with some cannons now, and then in the future, we should have enough defense that it's self-sufficient, and we're going to leave our army down here to defend against incoming attacks as well. So, as of right now, again, I'm just going to keep making Wrathwalkers. I don't think there's really anything else I need, because we're poising ourselves to go and attack this bottom shard. And we'll open up our warp-in zones as well as time goes on. But for now, I'm mostly just focused on... want to get this saturated. So we'll queue up some probes in advance. We're not going to get supply blocked. Important. And we should have enough to Chrono Surge and Solar Lance in a couple seconds here. Okay, so this is... I expected this, mostly. Let's just make sure that we're hitting everything. Cool. Okay, that's safe. So I'm going to go ahead and Chrono Surge here and get these probes out. And don't waste Chrono Surge. And then, I mean, it's a lot of Spear energy that we're using for Chrono Surge here, but it'll be worth it because we're going to get enough resources.
You shall all serve. I bring order.
Hierarch, we're tracking multiple flying entities heading for our nexus point.
Okay, here's another one of those attacks. We should have enough for Solar Lance as they get in close. I'm going to go ahead and keep getting upgrades. Yeah, Solar Lance in 5 seconds. This air attack comes down at the bottom, and I think it comes with a bunch of carriers. So I probably would just want to focus on the carriers with Solar Lance, and the rest of the stuff will get killed like normal. Okay, excellent. So that's looking good, and I can start getting these cannons out. Enemy attack is incoming. And we're just going to, again, at this point, I'm mostly just going to save for Solar Lance. And our time stop is already back up, so we want to consider attacking into the bottom left here pretty soon. Okay, the Seeker missiles are extremely unfortunate, and there's really nothing I can do about that. It's hard to see where this one is going. I mean, it just went I don't know. I don't know which one that went for, but I guess if anything died, it was not super valuable. Okay, so let's grab a Templar Archive and then a Fleet Beacon. And let's get a Dark Templar Shrine. Dark Shrine, whatever it's called. Okay, now before I move out, I really would like to secure this area. I think I have enough stuff now. I can consider just heading out. So let's get a few more Havocs, and we're gonna just push through. There's some like pre-placed Zerg stuff here before we move in towards the next shard. And we have enough stuff now where I'm very confident that we can just move on top of shards and it'll go very well. At this point now, our Zealots are just gonna die. That's okay. Keep an eye out on upgrades. Gonna get shields. Can Chrono Surge that up, but I'd rather make sure that I have enough to Solar Lance at all times as well. Okay, so here's the next shard.
Move carefully, Hierarch. Destroying a Void Shard has increased the strength of the remaining 4.
And there you can see how much damage our Wrathwalkers do.
The second shard has been destroyed. I can already sense Amon's protection weakening.
Okay, so I went ahead and warped out of there. I didn't feel comfortable with the amount of units that I had. I'm going to start getting Tempests now.
Base is under attack.
And then we're just going to Solar Lance like I've been saying. Cool. Now I'd like to hope that some cannons can take care of one turret, and indeed they did. Okay, now that we're clumped up and not right in the middle of all those units, I'm comfortable to move over here. And I'm going to start getting some Archons. Upgrades are looking good. We're going to make Archons. Nice that these Stalkers repair themselves. Okay, now I don't need this base down here, but I will likely take it. And we're starting to get a good amount of minerals. So I'm going to get a couple monoliths here. Pricey, but again, worth it. And now this is cleared out, so I can go in and remove the enemies around the Tal'Darim location, or... Well, yeah, I probably will do that. I'm not really in a rush at this point. I want to free up the Tal'Darim and free up the Dark Templar. The Tal'Darim will intercept enemy units on their way to us, but if we take this area down here, we have to also build a bunch of defense. So we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. Keep getting those Tempests. Let's plan to not get supply blocked in the future, please. Okay, and I'm just going to continually use Solar Lance. And if I ever am stockpiling a lot of energy, then I'll use Chrono Surge, which we're coming up on that, but for now it's okay. I will go ahead and get these assimilators at least. And I'll lay down this Nexus, but I don't need to saturate it right away. I don't want to build too many probes, because that's a waste of supply. We'll just transfer away from this base.
Be freed of your suffering.
Rift detected. Expect another onslaught of Void entities soon.
Okay, we'll have Solar Lance up for this, and we have a good amount of defense, so I'm not too concerned. And then we're getting this base set up, and now this is where I'm not really in a rush. You know, that 24-minute mastery I don't really care about, and I don't want to worry about it. So I'm going to grab a bunch more gateways so that we can spam out units, because we're going to be losing units very quickly. 3, 4, and then more pylons. Okay. So we can see this. There may be more stuff coming in from behind. I can't see it, so let's just give them a Solar Lance way in the back. Cannons can take care of the rest. And then we have to set up defense along this area. And now, again, I mostly want to wait. I'll get a few probes on this. I'm going to wait and see which direction I want to move in before we do anything. I'm going to keep getting Tempests, because they're really good against those buildings and do long range, so they're not getting hit as much by the long-range crap. You know what? Let's take my army and attack up in this direction. Except you. I do like how he one-shots these Hydralisks that are chasing him, though. Very satisfying. Yeah, clear out this pre-placed crap. There we go. So now I'm going to come down here. This area is cleaned out. I'm going to get some DTs and cannons. And we're going to need monoliths as well, so let's get these started. Okay, that's acceptable. Yep, and here comes an enemy attack. How dare you use that on me? I would really like to save this, so I'm gonna Solar Lance. Let's see if this will save it. Ooh, it worked. Okay. Very cool. And you can see we're constantly short on minerals now, but we've got this base set up. I'm gonna transfer some of these probes. Upgrades. I'm gonna go for shields level 3. I still don't really feel comfortable with the amount of, I'm not really comfortable with the amount of solar energy I have, so I'm not going to use Chrono Surge just yet. I do have Time Stop. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go up and attack into the Alarak location. Now, this is where we can keep an eye out and see if this is self-sufficient. It should be. I just want these to attack the Ultralisk, please. There you go. Yeah, don't waste your shots on other stuff. Okay, so we're going to go for Alarak's location. I could Solar Lance up this ramp as well. I mean, at this point, pretty much all my units are disposable. Like, I hate to put it that way, but they are. We're gonna focus on Wrathwalkers and Tempests, which again is an odd combination, but that's how we're doing it. Vanguard's doing a ton of damage elsewhere. I'm gonna get a couple more Havocs as well. And we want to clump up because we don't want to accidentally go into range of the Void Shard. We just want to get Alarak onto the field, and that's it. Okay, that should be enough. Maybe. Nah, we'll see. You know what? I think I'm going to just go ahead and Solar Lance this as well. I didn't quite have enough other cannons set up here. Okay, now Alarak can join us. That's 1 of 3.
Amon's downfall is at hand. Tal'Darim, your High Lord demands the Dark God's blood. Do not disappoint me.
So on one hand, he will kind of keep us safe from that direction. Now I'm going to move my army up here. I'm going to get the Nerazim in, and we're going to attack with them when they warp in to destroy the top Void Shard. And that's going to get us the first achievement.
Chaos.
I could have done it. I could have done it with the Tal'Darim here, but not necessary. Because I'm going to use these last 2 Void Shards to get the second achievement. Speaking of which, we want to make sure we have enough supply to get an Arbiter out later.
This universe will be redeemed.
Void entities detected, marking their location. They are heading towards our nexus point now.
Okay, more Wrathwalkers, please, and that's going to max us out. Could Time Stop. I don't think it's necessary. I will go ahead and I can Chrono Surge now because I have enough to Solar Lance. And as you can see, we've got enough defense here now, especially if we kill the Colossus. I placed my monoliths in a very particular way such that they can hit these long-range units.
Well done, Hierarch. My Nerazim are establishing a position now.
Okay, let's move up and clear the way to the shard so that they can join us as soon as possible. And we're just going to keep making Stalkers. See, like, why would you want Zealots in this composition? Even Sentinels. Well, okay, yeah, sure, they can survive a bit better, but, like, why? Also, we want to make sure we're using Disintegrate on the shards themselves. Okay, so here she comes. Pick this stuff up, please. I'm going to Time Stop.
Void shards are growing increasingly unstable. Engage them cautiously. We do not fully understand their power.
Okay, so the Nerazim were here, I guess, technically.
The third shard has fallen before us.
And now we've got sort of a bloodbath going on here to clean these units up, but there's really no other way. So I'm just going to go ahead and build more Tempests and build more Colossi, and maybe another Vanguard, because I assume we lost the ones that were in here, and then we're going to go and get the Purifiers. Okay, these Ravens, very irritating if you can't tell. Now I could take this upper base.
slaughter all who oppose my will.
Definitely not necessary. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wait, I'm going to actually Chrono Surge out these Tempests so I can also get an Arbiter. And then here comes Phoenix. I think I technically did, I mean, I attacked that Void Shard and the Nerazim were there. I guess I could have waited for like 1 extra second because they did hesitate. Okay. And we're really short on energy now, so I do have to be a little careful. I might want to reposition with Mass Recall if I have to. And I'm going to go around and destroy some of the other areas with enemies just because I would like to. The last shard I may very well end up attacking with one of my allies. Odds are, at this point, we will.
Establishing purifier fortifications now. We follow you, the war hierarch.
All 3 forward positions have been secured, Artemis. Now, let us bring an end to Amon.
Okay, we'll finish up our upgrades. Yeah, sure, pick up this pallet.
Purification is at hand.
Depleted.
The Nerazim join the fight.
So all our buddies are out. We're coming up on 30 minutes game time, and this is where, again, I'm really taking my time. Arbiter, I'm going to keep you back because I want to use you for later, and I don't want to just throw you away. So we're going to attack up here and just destroy this stuff because I feel like it. And I suppose I'll kill these. Sometimes if you're lucky, the Tal'Darim move into a position where they protect you. Here, disintegrate. So we're getting rid of all the pre-placed buildings. Not necessary, but I'm doing it anyway. And you can see this is drawing some of the Void Shade enemies to me. And then I'm going to come down here, clear this out, and then we're going to move up this ramp, and there's an area a little further up that we're going to take out as well. So again, I'm really meticulously getting rid of every single group of enemies on this map. I don't know why, just because I would like to.
Another wave of void entities is on approach, Hierarch.
So I could go and intercept these and then just blast them with Solar Lance as well. Nothing can stop us at this point, I'd say. This is a lot of stuff, but we should be fine. Thank you. So we're going to walk up this ramp. We're going to skirt the edge and try to get a little further in because I want to destroy the enemies that are there so that my Arbiter can make the trek. Alternatively, I can just ignore them and fly around with my Arbiter, like go up the top. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because there's no reason to do this a different way, if you ask me. So we're going to come down here with the Tal'Darim. I think I'm going to wait for the Tal'Darim to attack, and then... or wait for somebody to attack, at least. That's not the direction I wanted these to go, and now I have to remake stuff because they walked out.
Purifiers, go forth and purify.
Not enough energy.
Hierarch, my Dark Templar are moving to strike against Amon.
Okay, Arbiter, please stay up here. So this is what it all comes down to, right? So we gotta use this. We gotta do this just right. So, Arbiter, you're in position. We are going to right-click the shard. We're gonna time stop.
Hierarch, the remaining shards are bleeding void energy. Approaching them will be extremely dangerous.
We're gonna recall.
This is it, brothers. All of our hopes rest upon this moment. Victory nears, my brothers. Fight with all you have.
Then I'm gonna recall them out. And yes, we lost some other stuff, but that was pretty effective. And we definitely killed those.
Abandon your fear. The end of an age is at hand.
Definitely killed those within 2.5 minutes of each other.
Amon's form has awakened.
All vessels, ready your weapons, now! Templar, unleash your fury!
energy levels dropping. Amon's host has been destroyed.
Ready the keystone, Karax. Our final stand approaches.
Good stuff. So while it did take us 33.5 minutes, I think my general strategy can be used to do it in under 24, just knowing exactly how many units you need to hit the Void Shards. So I used time stop every time I attacked a shard. I could have used it more frequently and with fewer units if I knew exactly how many units I really needed to make it work. And then we used Mass Recall to save as many units as we could as well. So as far as I know, we destroyed some of them with the assistance, either the last two or that one before with the Nerazim, with the assistance of the Protoss, and then those last two definitely within a minute and a half of each other. So we're going to go back to the Spear. We'll talk to everyone for one last time before the final Salvation holdout mission, which is quite fun. Haven't decided what units I'll use yet, though. We got a very inspiring cinematic coming up as well.
You have surprised my people, Hierarch. They knew little of the bravery of the Templar. Some are even impressed by it.
They have fought nobly, Alarak. I am honored that they stand with me.
They admire your conviction and brutality.
And if we are victorious this day, will they continue to stand with me?
If I will it. But now is not the time to muse upon future things. Not when my vengeance awaits.
May I honor those who came before me. The hour has come. This is my final test. The hour has come.
Okay.
This is...
You seem troubled by so much loss, Hierarch.
How could one not be? But the brooding you sense is only concern for the task at hand. To convince our people that they must shed what they hold most sacred.
You convinced me. I, who held the Kala above all else.
You knew the risk that connection was presenting to us.
Indeed. Though I seldom knew his possession, each was horrifying. I bore silent witness to the mockery he made of me. I cannot imagine the suffering they have experienced below. The release they must yearn for.
Can you sense the hope, Matriarch?
I do. If we succeed, we will have a new chance to forge the unified society we strove for on Shakuras.
We will preserve the traditions of the Nerazim. They will not be forgotten.
In time, they may be. I fear losing our old ways, Artanis. But as we've worked with the Tal'Darim and the Purifiers, I now see that it is inevitable. Traditions must change as we do. A day may come when we leave behind the Shadow Walk, just as you have abandoned the Kala and the caste system.
That is the price we must pay, to become truly one people.
So I have come to believe.
Hierarch, it is done.
The Xel'Naga Keystone is ready for deployment.
Indeed. However, the duration of the effect still deeply concerns me.
It is our only option. We must believe that there will be enough time to speak reason.
No matter what happens, if we die, we all die Templar. And I thank you for that. For your faith in me. It has been my eternal honor to serve you, Hierarch.
I have been blessed to truly get to know you, Artanis. To call you friend, not just because of memory, but through experience.
Our journey is not yet over, friend Phoenix. If we win this day, know that the glory of building a new civilization lies ahead, and I will need you to help me do it.
It is a task I greatly look forward to. But I no longer wish to be called by the name Phoenix.
Oh?
I am honored to choose my own name. It will be Talendar.
Talendar. One who bears a strong heart. A fitting name. So it shall be.
Lovely.
The Keystone has its limits, and Amon's power is beyond them. Even our best-laid strategies are but chance before a Xel'Naga. It is the best I could do in the time allotted. It will have to be enough. We will need to defend the Keystone until it reaches full power. It will take some time.
Alrighty. You know, the inspiring cinematic actually I think happens when you start the next mission, so we'll see that next time before the mission. Thanks everyone so much for watching. This is an interesting map. I find the host to be one of the more challenging ones, but I think, especially because I wanted to try out some of the units we never used, which were the Wrathwalkers and Tempests, we made it work, even though it took a bit longer than usual. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye now.